Welcome. Hi, Amanda. So good to see you.
Hello.
Nick, so good to have you here. Okay, we're going to dive right in. I'm so excited for today's call. We're still playing with the essence of selling, which I am loving because it is the unit that we're going through in Kinky Business right now. And what I am seeing is just that everyone has so much charge on selling. Um, People don't want to do it. People get nervous. It feels icky. And as a coach and as a mentor, it's kind of like pains me to see women feeling that way about selling because I know all of you and I know the power of what you all want to bring to the world. And I know that the world needs it. So it pains me to see women feeling like stuck around selling or turned off, and hesitating and resisting selling because those things need to be out in the world. And there are people who are literally at home praying and begging for the things, the services that you have to offer. So, I shared this, we went over this in my Kinky Business container in last night's session. So you're kind of getting a peek into some of the things that we talk about. It also actually has come from a Selling with Soul masterclass that I have. And now I'm kind of like, maybe we should just plan to do the whole masterclass again. So I might do that in the next, I don't know, we'll see if I just pop the whole thing out in like a week. It's possible. So what I thought we would just go over is really the 5 blocks that are getting in the way for professionals around selling. And you can see if it feels like they align with you. And then we'll talk about some of the ways that we can take those blocks and shift them so that you can actually step into sensual selling, which I feel like is so perfect. Amanda, it's like you were literally like intuiting,
Yeah.
intuiting today's call. Oh yeah, and Lexiana is joining us, so maybe we'll wait for her to hop on before we go in. Okay, it's being slow. So, uh, let's just start. The 5 biggest blocks around selling. We could probably sit here and you could probably guess them because they're probably things that you feel. And the value of going over what these blocks are is powerful because it gives us, once we can see them, we then have the capacity to like redefine uh, the whole sales process with these principles in mind. So again, if you remember, and we might touch in on that, like it's always when fear or limitations cut in. Hey, Lexiana, so glad you're here. I love that color on you. It's so sexy.
Came to match your lipstick.
Oh, it's true. Why are you so far away? We could go out and be on a
Oh
sexy
my God, yeah, we would look amazing together. Holy shit.
sister goddesses matching. Okay, so when we have awareness of the fears, the best way to begin to flip it so that we can get into seductive selling is remembering the truth behind selling in the first place, which tends to be the very opposite of the blocks. But when you come back to remembering like the truth, right? Oh, you have a powerful message. Oh, selling is about connection. You're building a community, which is valuable. When you think about the purpose behind it, which is that you are offering something that is invaluable and priceless in the sense that you are going to help people transform their lives. Not only are you sharing something that might feel like your purpose in this life, but you are helping others to connect with their purpose, tap into their unique visions. Like it's priceless. So when we can remember those things, what else is there? Oh, relationships, right? Like what you're selling is about building relationship, empowerment, so many things. So the blocks that tend to happen and come up, the first one is many of us have this fear of being too salesy. We worry, or we've also been sold to, we might have our own experiences where we've been sold to and it felt like ick, or we felt like people were being pushy or needy or insincere with us. So this keeps us holding back from making sales because we feel like in a sale, we might have to sacrifice our integrity or our authenticity, which keeps you in that resistance to selling. So you can see that again, if we come back to the truth, it's not insincere. Like what you are trying to sell is an authentic connection, an authentic experience, something that comes from like the true core of your life's mission. Like it like has to do with why you are here in this body right now. There is nothing insincere about selling that. Haley, so excited you're here. We're just going over, so we're going to go over 5 of the most common blocks in selling and then how we can flip it into seductive sales. So the first one was feeling the fear of feeling salesy. And we were talking about how if we can reconnect to authenticity, and I think we talked about it this maybe last week. I feel like it was on, or maybe the one that I'd shared with you, Amanda, is that when we also remember that every time that we are talking to someone or making a sale, like it's only ever an invitation, right?
Mhm.
Like it's kind of just like in the essence of, I just wanted to let you know that this is here and this is an option. If this is something that you're interested in exploring deeper. And then people always have their free will of saying yes or no. But when we remember that it's only ever an invitation that we're putting out, take some of that pressure off of us, and that it's not about a sale. It's about being able to guide someone deeper into their wholeness.
Mhm.
2 is imposter syndrome. Right? Many of us may struggle with feelings of inadequacy. We might get hit with self-doubt. We go to sell and it's like, oh shoot, I'm going to sell this, but am I really the person who deserves to be selling this? So you begin to question your value. And when you start to question your value, that's where just like this waiver comes in that can actually, again, get in the way of your ability to be confident on a sales call where you're presenting your services or talking about the price that you're asking them to pay. So it's like getting rid of that thought of who am I to charge for this, which again, if we can come back to your truth, like if you look at another one of the practices we do in kinky business is kind of looking at like actually creating your value. So if you actually look at all of the money that you have ever invested in your personal training, like over all of the years, you will blow your and it's like
Yeah.
your price tag is really, really high. So yes, you are worthy of charging what you were charging for your sessions. So we have to kind of get really masterful at being like these connoisseurs of catching the beliefs that are coming up and then going back to the truth. So imposter syndrome, and I'll just say it right now, like, yes, you are worthy of, and you hold enough expertise to be making these offerings and charging your prices.
Mm.
Number 3 is the scarcity mindset. So, this one, oh, it was so funny. It hit someone, a client I was talking to yesterday. She tends to work with creatives and she desires to actually take her work and offer it in the corporate system. Like there's companies that are launching these mandates where about bringing more creative experiences into big corporate companies. And she was like, well, I just don't know if I would bring this work in. Like all of these men, they're not going to want to get up and dance. And it was like, you don't know that, like these men and women, like also for one, is it really just men that are going to be in the workplace? And you don't know what they feel like getting up and going into work. Like they could feel like they've sold their soul and they could be like depressed as fuck going into work every day. Like maybe they are praying for her to come in and say, get up and dance. Right. So this was her scarcity mindset getting in the way of like, oh, these men aren't going to want to get up and dance. So this is the scarcity mindset will lead us to believe that we aren't enough for our clients, or that there aren't enough clients, or there aren't even enough opportunities available. And so this will cause us to hold back on our marketing because we might actually just be anxious about the competition or the potential success of our offers. We'll also say on top of this, like this is the value of social media, is it allows us to access, those are platforms that allow us to access the 8 billion people on this planet. Yes. Yes, it means that there's a lot of competition there, but the other thing that I was talking about, was it off of this part, if it comes up? Like me, for example, you know, I only have 1,600 followers on Instagram and I think like 8,000 on Facebook, but I still have $1 million business. Like it doesn't matter. It does not matter how many followers you have. And I know women who have 250K followers and have 0 clients. Like, so when we're in scarcity mindset, like our brain will see things like that and make us think that we can't have the success that we have. But in reality, it's like, it's just another way of like talking us out from stepping forward. And it's not true. So, you know, it's all just more veils that we just have to pull away. Okay, scarcity mindset. 4 is the fear of rejection. I know this one, I will be fully honest. This one is like one of mine, and you will face it every time you do a launch. And it doesn't matter if you already have a $1 million business. It's like every time you go to launch, you know, it's like your nervous system knows, oh shit, I now get to face a series of rejection. And thankfully, you know, you will also get your yeses, but there's no way to not get no's in a launch. So if you dread the possibility of rejection or criticism when you are pitching your services, fear of rejection might be something that energetically could prevent you from wanting to take the risks that are necessary in entrepreneurial business building. It can also prevent you in even wanting to engage in the conversations that could lead to new clients, right? Because if you just have, like, if your nervous system completely clams up at like the potential of getting a no, if you take no's really personally, this could block you from trying. And I think there's a meme out there where it's just like, you know, every successful business owner was a loser that just got up and tried again, which is true. You just get, it's like, we're really good. Maybe if rejection is a kink of yours, I think it might be one of mine. It might get a little bit easier. How can you get turned on by getting no so that you don't give up? Yeah. And Lexiana, I agree. Like men need it the most. And I'll brag actually, or not brag, but I'll share because I feel like it's driftwood. I was just talking with an old client of mine and she was celebrating new clients of hers, and which was a couple. And the man, his favorite frame of the session was actually that she opened and closed with dance breaks. And he was like, I love that you did that. And she was nervous because she was like, oh, this man's not going to want to dance. And he did. He got up and he danced. And he said to her, I framed this because it actually let me get a better feel of your personality. So again, you know, coming back to that truth piece of, I know this of everyone, like you are giving people authentic experiences, right? We live in a superficial world where there are a lot of people who don't get to be around other people who are willing to be vulnerable or authentic. And so, yes, like even that is so hugely valuable. Yeah. And we said totally quality over quantity. And yeah, we will lose more times than we will have tried. But it's so amazing when, when we get those yeses and are doing the work, but it means that we have to get used to the no's. Okay. And then the fifth and last one is confusion around value proposition. So this is where, and I do think this is the trickiest. I think the reason why this is the trickiest is what most of you are doing with your businesses is things that you probably have been doing all of your life. It's probably things that you have naturally been doing in sisterhood. And so it doesn't feel like there's a huge value because you're like, this is just me being me. So it is kind of hard for us to be like, why should I get to charge someone 20K or 10K or 5K or $500, whatever, for something that just feels like it can feel like you're not actually doing anything. That doesn't mean, like, this is kind of just one of the sad things is like we're all hugely valuable people who've been walking through a world that doesn't respect or value the magic that we're offering. So yeah, confusion around value proposal means struggling to articulate the unique benefits and transformations that your clients are getting with your services. This is really helpful, like how you can figure out your value proposition. Again, if you come through Kinky Business with me, you will get sheets and sheets of what you offer for value proposition. So I tell those babes, I'm like, there is no way none of you can tell me that you don't know what you are offering your clients, because there's like, you have pages of like tens of things that it could be. But anytime that you're doing like marketing research with clients, talking to them about their pain points, like those are all things that you want to take note of. That's your value proposition, right? What are people suffering from out in the world? What are their victim stories? And also when you're talking to people about their desires, what they're looking for, what they want, what they want to change in their life, and what they want to add to their life. Those are all feedback on your value proposition. So those are the things that you want to take note of, because those are the things in sales conversations. And also if you are using social media marketing, those are the things that you want to be talking about in your messaging all the time, right? Because without a clear understanding of your value proposition, you might feel lost when trying to communicate to someone why they should choose you over this person. And if you don't have clarity, it can lead to lack of confidence in selling. So when we are able to address all of these blocks with strategies, we'll feel supported, and it's also going to enhance your capacity to be able to empower those that you're talking to in the sales process, right? Because you are able to share your gifts more effectively, and you're also able to share, like, this is what you're going to get out. This is how you're going to thrive in my world. Okay, the juicy part. So when we know what our blocks might be, how can we begin to shift so that we can sell with soul? And if you are in my world and familiar with pleasure, not only are we going to sell with soul, but we are going to sell with sensual soul, because that sensuality, the pleasure, the turn on is innately magnetic. So the first thing is that we actually want to embody our sensuality in selling. And the easiest way to do that is for us to be responsible for connecting with our body. So before we engage in any selling activities, take a moment to ground yourself and connect with your body. That could look like dancing. It could be in particular a turn on dance. You could be doing a strip tease with a sister goddess. It could be any kind of self touch. It could be pussy stroking. And if that feels way too edgy, it could just be breath work. Breathing is so sensual. Those of you who were on the last masterclass that I did, and I think we went over some of them on some of these calls too, but like the deconstructing the om sound, like when we let, like, her exhale is such a sensual sound. So just even connecting to our breath is an easy way to get into our body. When you do this, and when you are also in your body, you are going to be showing up more authentically and confidently, because that radiates. People are going to have that sense of, like, they hop on a Zoom call with you and you just did a strip tease or you just finished stroking pussy. They're going to be like, it's like kind of like, oh, where did you just come from? Like, you give off that essence. Another way to embody your sensuality, and this is a huge part of my practice, is like dressing to express. So for me, getting ready before any call is a ritual, like being able to shower and then like lotioning my body, picking underwear that's going to feel sexy, picking lingerie or an outfit, like I love, like, oh, I want to be in satin because it's going to feel way better than just a cotton t-shirt. So picking things that make you feel good, doing my makeup, doing my hair, like that gets me into a place of turn on. That is a pleasure ritual for me, and a really easy one. Because it's fun and it has an outcome. And then, like it always leads to so much more. It's like, okay, I did this and I got ready for a call, but then I'll do a call like this, and then I'll be so turned on after because it was fun to be with all of these turned on babes. And then it's like, well, I look good. Ooh, maybe I should put on some music and take some videos for content. Like, that's what a ritual does, right? It's like it opens the capacity for so much more. So we're going to do the same thing with selling and with our clients. So that is how we can get turned on for the sales process. 2 is creating just intimate connection. Like, let yourself engage in heart-centered conversations with these people. I feel like this is like easy and a no-brainer. You already know this. Like, you guys are all authentic individuals, and that is what a discovery call is, right? Is just being curious and genuinely interested and desiring to understand what this other person's needs and desires are. Like, who wouldn't want to sit down and be like, I want time with each of you. Like, tell me all of your desires. Like, that's so easy to just get into that connection with an individual. Tell me your desires. That's like, there's so much potentiality in that. So just asking open-ended questions, listening actively, so that you're like engaged. So even if you're not saying anything, there's just still like this back and forth of energy that you're exchanging. And honestly, in that, you're creating intimacy, right? You never know. I know many of us here are in a lot of really turned on communities, and we're spoiled and we're really lucky. Most people that hop on a call with you may literally have never had a chance to sit and just like completely spill the beans with anyone, who are just sit and be listened to, so that in itself, you have no idea the value of that moment that you can have with a potential client. So creating just space for heart-centered conversations. And in addition, a way to elevate that is also when you share personal stories, right? So being able to set up, oh boy, there's a vehicle going right down my driveway. That is not going to get back up my driveway. That's interesting. Okay, we got 5 minutes. I love how I live on a huge hillside, and I'm just like, that van, there's no way. That is going to be an adventure shortly. Okay. So just sharing personal stories. So opening up about your journey, the challenges and transformations, because what you are modeling in that is vulnerability, right? And that's what you're going to ask of your clients. So giving them the chance to connect with you and like those deeper experiences and stories is going to actually set the field up for them to want to invest in your offerings, because they're like, oh, she's actually invested in sharing like sensitive and intimate things with me. And yeah, so they're just going to they're going to feel that and be excited in getting into your space. I'm just listening to this fan. You're already stuck. Okay. Highlight the pleasure of your offerings, which means know what really gets you excited and turns you on. I'm just laughing, you guys, at this situation. So when talking about your offers, focus on obviously the pleasurable outcomes and transformations. What can they expect? This is really easy because you're also, remember, you are your first client. So look at your journey. Like, what is the pleasure that you get out of your spaces? If you're a really good storyteller, actually, if you can remember the free training that I did on the erotic system. So remember, the erotic mind is part of it. So this is where you kind of want to play into your erotic mind, where you're going to use like storytelling, use language that taps into the senses, like paint a picture of the benefits, let them feel you, let them create like this future movie of what they're going to look like and feel like being in space with you. So you want to just, in your erotic mind, tap into your imagination, get them to tap into theirs. And so another way to do this is the storytelling piece, but also offering sensory experiences. This is technically also what you really do with your master classes, right? Where you're creating an opportunity for potential clients to actually experience what it feels like being in spaces with you. So it could look like a master class, a free trial. If you have tangible products, it could be why we offer samples, or the discovery call. Discovery calls, if you can make it a turned on discovery call, it's really, really smart. Okay. I want to finish these. 4, integrate playfulness into the sales process. So this is just like standard. This is why I love pleasure. Pleasure is the adult's playground. So again, in the sales process, use humor and play. Just have fun. It's also, when you're having serious conversations with people, I find like, when I'm talking to people about my one-to-one, because it's the highest ticket offer that I have, humor can crack tension, right? If someone's like disarmed by like, wait, what, 20, you want 25K from me, right? Like it could be very overwhelming for someone's nervous system. So how do we just lighten it more with being playful? So play. And then also we can do this again. A great way to do this is with our master classes, where we can actually like gamify your offers, which what I mean is in the process. And remember, master classes are actually part of your funnel system. So in this funnel system, offering things like contests, challenges, and rewards. This makes it more exciting for everybody, and will actually enhance their interest in wanting to be involved and participating. Okay, and the last one is to foster a sense of community and belonging, which again, I feel like, doesn't need to be said. But when you create spaces, online or offline, where you are giving people the opportunity to connect, to share their individual experiences, and support one another, you're literally building that sense of community. And a sense of community fosters loyalty and is actually going to encourage your clients to want to invest in your offerings because they feel all of a sudden like, oh my God, I'm part of something, which if your ideal client is a woman, community is part of the feminine experience. And which again, in a consumerist society, patriarchal world, they've tried to pull us out of those experiences as women. So when we talk about our own experiences, or when we're talking to people and they're like, I feel like I'm home, it's because they are, right? Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be in community together. So knowing and remembering that in the sales process is just so easy, right? Like, and it will build loyalty. The other thing to remember to do, which I feel like celebration is so underrated. It makes me so sad. My husband is so bad at celebrating things. Like, he doesn't even like celebrating holidays. And I'm just like, we have to be good at celebrating. So also remembering to celebrate success together. The achievements of your clients and community members cannot go underrated. Right. So when we share successes and when we celebrate, it strengthens connection even further. And so, in a leadership role, it actually also strengthens, like, it enhances the capacity, like, look at the successes that are happening here in this space. So it's a really smart leadership move also. And so it demonstrates, the effectiveness of your work, and in doing so can inspire others to want to come and join and be deeper in spaces with you. So this is how fun and easy selling can be. Yes, we want to know both sides. We want to be aware of how we are blocking ourselves from selling and receiving the abundance that is there for us financially, but also, like, the abundance of working with clients. Like, we love our clients. Like, it's so much fun to get to do what we love doing. So it's like, we want to welcome the abundance of those opportunities in for them, but also for us. So know what the blocks are, and then remember that the selling process can really be fun. It can be turned on for everyone, for you. And also, just again, in the magnetism, when you are turned on, you're setting the frequency for a space. And so if people are nervous, or if people know that a sales conversation is coming, and they're already like armored with like the ick about the potential of that conversation, if you're turned on, if you're being playful, if you're being compassionate, you're just setting the tone for safety. And that's all that it is. Because remember, when it comes down to it, selling is always only an invitation. And if you can remember that, again, you dissipate whatever ick you could be giving off, and just create a safe space for people to have that conversation. And in doing so, like, rewiring the energetics around selling for both you and those that you're having conversation with, and hopefully setting them up to say yes, because that's what we want. We want them saying yes. Okay. So that concludes our juicy little chat for today. Again, in the thread, pop in your desires. I just feel like I never know what I'll do next week. So if there's anything you want more of, let me know. And it looks like I'm gonna go help this van call someone to get them out of my driveway. It's so good. I'll go flirt. All right, babes. And if any of you are having sales and selling conversations, like, put this into play and then come brag in the space and let us know how juicy and turned on it was for you this time. All right. Love you, goddesses, and I'll see you in the thread. Okay. Bye.